Could you hear people? Oh, nice. Oh, nice. My mic is hot. Welcome, everybody, to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. We're here. We're making it happen, and we're having a good time doing it. Thanks for being here, everybody. As usual, YouTube will get half of the show, but if you want to get the rest of the show, go ahead and follow us in any one of our many locations. You can find those locations at CanaryCry.Party. Go check it out. Not much to say today. I am, as we speak, sending out the text messages for those who wanted the text alerts for the show. So if you're interested in receiving text alerts for the show when we go live, go ahead and text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's 877-740-3226. Texting Canary will put you on the list, baby, and you'll start receiving text message alerts directly to your phone when we go live, so you'll never miss a show again. Isn't that exciting? All right. Well, we've got a wonderful show today. Very excited. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else to say. So not a whole lot of chat coming through. I'm seeing chat from Twitch and DLive. Not seeing any YouTube chat. So maybe the YouTube chat is all messed up like it was before. So we'll just figure it out as we go, folks. So go ahead, stay hydrated. It's very important. And yeah, buckle your seatbelts. Let's get to going. Whee!
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is March 18th, 2022. We are live to tape on episode 460. And today, Deepfake UFOBAMA. Razzle dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. Mm-hmm. And speaking of world events...
Oh.
Fight for Ukraine. New world order.
This DailyMail.co.uk headline, you know, they really did capitalize on the ability to just summarize the story in a headline and then just, you know, have a whole bunch of stuff in the actual article itself. But the headline here, Moscow and Kyiv are halfway there in key parts of their peace talks, with the two sides now discussing, quote, nuances. Russia claims as Putin's stalled forces strike Lviv, 40 miles from Poland, as part of effort to bomb Ukraine into submission.
Wow. Yeah, that they really just give it all to you right off the bat there, don't
The headline is really just crammed with information there. So that's
what else do you need to know?
I guess nothing.
Gonz.
I guess
nothing.
Putin, bad man. As long as we just repeat that, we're in the clear. Isn't that right?
I love the focus on nuance. Like, you wouldn't understand. It's very complicated, very nuanced. Yeah. It's a good sign, though. It's a good sign. They've been the past 3 days. They've really been cranking up the optimism, optimism for the whole situation, which is nice of them to do. But you can tell that as they crank up the optimism for World War III, they're also dialing back the optimism for coronavirus. There's more and more little stories of, China's shutting down. More cases. The spring. It's going to be a dark, deadly spring.
The dark spring after the dark winter.
The cold spring.
The cold spring. Yeah, there's But that's, a part of the challenge here with all of this. And this is one of the things we've challenged all of our listeners, producers, people coming in and out to really question everything that's being published everywhere right now. It's really difficult to know exactly what's going on unless you're boots on the ground. So keeping that in mind here, one of the stories that popped up here in the last day or so, UN's highest court orders Russia to end its deadly war operations in Ukraine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So this is the bureaucracy.
That's what we were waiting for. We were waiting for finally someone with some authority to tell Russia to stop it.
Well, that's what's funny is that now they're starting to, these international institutions are throwing around their bureaucratic weight, so it's kind of interesting to watch. Now, this is a professor here from Yale Law, and he's talking about the whole situation here. He was representing, or he was part of the whole UN highest court, who ordered Russia to stop the military operations.
This could be a very tough haul. The vote in the International Court of Justice, it's definitely a major win for Ukraine. But, Harold, some may argue it's mostly symbolic. So does this have any teeth?
No.
Well, that's like saying that when the Supreme Court of the United States ordered Richard Nixon to turn over the tapes, it was largely symbolic. It's a ruling of law. No court has enforcement authority, but what it does is it has the ability to brand somebody's actions as illegal, make them a pariah, and make them isolated. That's exactly what President Zelensky says, is this dramatically weakens President Putin's bargaining position. And I think most important, a 13-2 vote will make the Chinese feel very skeptical about whether they really want to side with Putin unequivocally going forward, because to do so associates themselves with that level of equality. So this was a victory for international law. It's only an important first step, but it was not a close case. It was 13-2 with only the Russian and the Chinese judge dissenting. And it's an important step, as you say, on the way to further isolating Putin, driving him into negotiations with a relatively weak hand, and strengthening the case for more sanctions and more accountability against him for the war crimes that he's committing every day.
Branding him an outlaw.
Outlaw.
Branding him an outlaw. Yeah, this is pretty funny. I'm surprised it took so long. I mean, it seems like such a easy step, at least if you compare it to what we've been, what the media has been expressing, what politicians have been expressing, what the international community has been expressing for, 3 weeks now? Over 3 weeks. And just now, they're having international courts take a vote on whether this is cool
it's bureaucracy.
Or not.
It takes a little while for the wheels to start spinning, and you got to order a meeting, there. And you got to get on the Zoom call. It's a whole ordeal, man. It takes forever.
People have they have golfing weekends and kids' birthday parties. They can't just drop everything just because Putin's going AWOL.
Which is, it's really interesting, though, because it is sort of showing the contrast of, in our state today, these world institutions that nobody really voted for. Like, we didn't vote for these institutions and representatives in these institutions to enforce some kind of international law. But, of course, after World War II and the New World Order and all that kind of stuff has developed this climate. But it's just like, I don't know, man. Everything they say here seems skeptical. I
love what they said, though, that this is basically, just solidifying the fact that Putin's a pariah, and it's a bargaining chip. It's a bargaining position.
But they're declaring all this. There was a vote, all this kind of stuff, but it's kind of, it still feels like it's out of thin air. There's no weight to it. It's just like these big elite people just saying, yes, it's law. I'm a professor at Yale Law, and I'm saying it's law, therefore it's law. It's like, okay, I guess the magic continues.
Right, which is kind of to say that it's the same people. It's the same people who've been mad the whole time.
Now listen to this. This is from the same interview, 30-second clip, the same gentleman comparing Putin to cancer.
Kira, the way to think about this is the way that you think about a fight against cancer. If it doesn't kill you in the first go, if you can survive, then chemotherapy and other kinds of stronger working solutions can act. So it needs the Ukrainian people to survive on the ground, and then for law to work through its processes to isolate the disease, which here is Putin's aggression and atrocities.
So kind of an interesting analogy there. I don't know if he thinks he was clever with that comparison, but isn't that weird? It's like, yeah, the UN is kind of like chemotherapy. We're just going to keep pounding away at this disease called Putin until he goes away. If it kills us, it's just
really
like this weird declaration of fight to the death.
It really is weird. And, he's been compared to so many different things. It's almost like this guy just ran out of metaphors. Or,
I know.
Everything's been said. He's a despot. He's an authoritarian. He's a tyrant. He's literally Hitler. He's literally Trump. He's, he's all these. I don't know, man. What can we call him now that people won't just tune out? I don't know. He's cancer. How about that?
People
folks?
can relate to cancer. We've killed lots of people with cancer. So,
well, I think it's funny. It's funny because it's almost the same. I mean, what is cancer besides the Hitler of diseases?
Right, exactly. The thing that won't go away, that we must eradicate through a long process of bureaucracy and law.
A valiant attempt at sort of a new take on the rhetoric.
Yeah. There's some more clips here from stuff out there. CNBC had on Shep Smith. He had a guy named Michael Weiss on. And this first clip, it's not as important. I was thinking about skipping it. Basically, he's talking about how intelligence reports from Estonia and some of the local, nearby nations suggest that Putin has like a couple months left if he really wants to go full board, and that a lot of, the stuff we've heard about, a lot of the Russian soldiers are, and by the way, so Ukraine is labeling everything that the list of casualties includes people that just walked away from their vehicles or their weapons or whatever. They can just be kind of hanging out in Ukraine.
That's a really good point. That's a good thing to bring up. And we've talked about it before. But yeah, technically, the military definition of a casualty is not always a death.
Right. It's like a disarmament.
It includes wounded, and it includes,
people that just quit.
It just means any soldier who is no longer fighting or cannot fight or whatever. Yeah.
So, that was an interesting point there. And, saying that Putin only has a short amount of time. But then this clip over here was kind of interesting as well.
Incredible. Michael, could some of Putin's generals have duped him? I mean, on how ready they were, how much equipment they actually had?
So there's a dispute here about what's actually taking place. I can tell you that Putin has already begun to cannibalize his own regime in a very Stalinist manner. There are purges taking place, house arrests of major FSB generals, including the head of the so-called Fifth Service, which is the foreign intelligence arm of the FSB, the domestic security apparatus, which, believe it or not, has a foreign intelligence arm. This guy is now apparently under house arrest. There have been reports that up to 8 generals in the army are also under house arrest. I saw today the head of Russia's National Guard has been placed under house arrest. So the question is, why is this happening? Is it because they sold Putin a bill of goods? They told him they were going to have a cakewalk and that Ukrainians were going to greet the Russians with open arms and chocolates and flowers? Or is it because he is interpreting in his paranoid KGB mind? Remember, this is going back to sort of Cold War mentality. He's interpreting failure as betrayal. Why are my generals not succeeding? Is it because they're working for the West? Have they defected in place? Are they moles? I mean, remember, how did the United States know, almost down to the date, that Putin was going to invade Ukraine? It's because he's probably his entire regime is perforated with leakers and moles.
Yeah, leakers and moles. That's why. That's why Biden knew. It wasn't the lizard people memo going out to all the outlets.
That explains it.
Yeah.
This is an interesting topic, though. I just dropped a little link there into our document. And I meant to bring this story, but I think it just fits in as a quick mention here.
Okay.
And this is over on Yahoo News, mirrored from Business Insider, which, take that for what it's worth. The headline is "Private Jets from Russia are flying to Dubai after Putin threatened to purge Russian society of traitors."
Purge Russian society.
And this is not the right article that I wanted, but it's a clip. The long story short is he made a speech and mentioned we must purge ourselves, this self-purge that he's been talking about. And of course, the U.S. media is freaking out about this. They're, comparing it to like the what is it? Like, obviously Hitler. A self-cleansing. That's what it was called. A self-cleansing of society.
Did he use the word purge or cleansing?
He used purge, I believe.
Because
self-purification of society, I believe, was the actual word.
Interesting.
And it was about exactly what we're talking about, which is westernized oligarchs, oligarchs who, became oligarchs through the support of Putin in sort of a quid pro quo, where they help support his power and he gives them access to all sorts of things, making them incredibly rich. And he made this speech complaining that they're westernized, the oligarchs, the westernized oligarchs, and we must have a self-purification of these westernized oligarchs.
Yeah, it sounds kind of Q-ish.
It's spooky. It sounds like a lot of things.
Well, it sounds.
They were trying to compare it to Stalin, which right. It's not much of a leap there. Compared it to Hitler, of course, with sort of purification of society,
race, whatever.
And so all these oligarchs are jumping on their jets and flying to Dubai, and there is a really interesting sort of conspiratorial tone to the article I was reading. Is like, well, we don't even know who's on those planes, but we know the planes belong to the oligarchs, but maybe they could be decoy planes, or they could be, filled with gold bars, or, all this stuff, which is very interesting. Some were considering a mainstream, corporate news article was talking about how, the oligarchs are flying to Dubai to escape a nuclear bomb that's going to go off in Russia or something like that. It was wild conspiracy theories, which of course I love. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but considering it was full on mainstream corporate news is pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, all of this is very interesting from the stepping away and analyzing the media and really seeing the division, propaganda West, propaganda Russia, it's very, it's hard to know what's going on. But who's going to set us straight is Arnold, the Terminator.
Oh, good.
Is going to set us straight. I clipped this down. It was a 9-minute thing. We can stop whenever you want. We can skip stuff, whatever. But I consolidated it down to about 3 minutes. I actually think this was well done. It was well produced. Speaking of actors and politicians and the blending of the two with Zelensky over there in Ukraine, obviously, the prototypes, there's many prototypes going back to Reagan and even before that, but, following in those footsteps, Schwarzenegger, obviously the governor of California in early 2000s. And he's very political. He's very personal. He does a good job with presenting like a personal touch to this message to the Russians. So let's hear a little bit of it.
I'm speaking to you today because there are things that are going on in the world that are being kept from you. Terrible things that you should know about.
Like Skynet? Probably not, sorry.
But before I talk about the harsh realities, let me just tell you about the Russian who became my hero. That ever since
So I skipped the whole part where he talks about the Russian weightlifter that he idolized as a kid, and his father was part of the Nazis, so he didn't like the poster of the Russian guy on the wall, but he sided with the Russian people, and he loves Russian people. He does a whole thing there. Then he goes on.
My hero. That ever since I was 14 years old, I've had nothing but affections and respect for the people of Russia. The strength and the heart of the Russian people have always inspired me. And that is why I hope that you will let me tell you the truth about the war in Ukraine and what is happening there. No one likes to hear something critical of the government, I understand that. But as a longtime friend of the Russian people, I hope that you will hear what I have to say. And may I remind you that I speak with the same heartfelt concern as I spoke to the American people when there was an attempted insurrection on January 6th last year. It is a humanitarian crisis. Because of its brutality, Russia is now isolated from the Society of Nations. You're also not being told the truth about the consequences of this war on Russia itself. I regret to tell you that thousands of Russian soldiers that have been killed. They have been caught between Ukrainians fighting for their homeland and the Russian leadership fighting for conquest. When I see babies being pulled out of ruins, I think that I'm watching a documentary about the horrors of the Second World War, not the news of the day. Now let me tell you, when my father arrived in Leningrad, he was all pumped up on the lies of his government. And when he left Leningrad,
he's pumped up on Nazi propaganda.
My father was so pumped up.
My father was pumped up on Nazis.
He was all pumped up on the lies of his government.
Wait, that's a good idea.
Leningrad,
This is all pumped up.
Okay, but yes, there were consequences to being pumped up to Nazi propaganda.
On the lies of his government. And when he left Leningrad, he was broken, physically and mentally. He lived the rest of his life in pain. Pain from a broken back, pain from the shrapnel that always reminded him of these terrible years, and pain from the guilt that he felt. To the Russian soldiers listening to this broadcast, you already know much of the truth that I've been speaking. You have seen it with your own eyes. I don't want you to be broken like my father. This is not the war to defend Russia that your grandfathers or your great-grandfathers fought. This is an illegal war. Your lives.
See, they needed the UN Council to vote on stuff so Arnold can go out there,
illegal.
Right, and call it an illegal war.
Grandfathers or your great-grandfathers fought. This is an illegal war. Your lives, your limbs.
He meant limbs, but he says limps, right? He did say limps.
Yeah.
But the caption says limbs, so if there was no caption, I wouldn't know what he's talking about. But
I mean, they both barely make sense.
Let him finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your lives, your limbs, your futures are being sacrificed for a senseless war condemned by the entire world. Now, to those in power in the Kremlin, let me just ask you, why would you sacrifice those young men for your own ambitions? So I urge the Russian people and the Russian soldiers in Ukraine to understand the propaganda and the disinformation that you're being told. I ask you to help me spread the truth. Let your fellow Russians know the human catastrophe that is happening in Ukraine. And to President Putin, I say, you started this war. You are leading this war. You can stop this war.
There you go.
Screw your freedom.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if I got anything much out of that. This is like, what exactly is the point of this? He's trying to cause the Russians to revolt against Putin?
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I came away with, was like, what is the point? Like, what are you trying to, like, what's the call to action here? Is it just to speak up against, but also it's very interesting how now, out of the West side of things here, you're hearing, or you're starting to see more of these celebrities speak up and try to do these types of mending. I don't know. It seems like a political play to me, or a geopolitical play, I suppose. But to put something out there like this, and to try to be like Peacemaker, try to talk about the nuance, to try to talk about the realities of whatever's going on, and I'm telling the truth. It's very, I just love that a politician / actor is on screen telling you, I'm telling you the truth. You are being fed propaganda, and I want to make sure you don't believe the propaganda. And it's like, wow, man, that is bizarre.
It was so generic
It
and
was.
so
No, he did a good
void.
job.
What?
I think he did a good job of appealing to the wider normie masses with this.
Yeah. Well, it was just so generic. Like you said, there's no call to action. There was no real passion. I mean, he had this personal story about his father,
Right.
but the story was, my father felt regret.
Right.
After something bad that he did. It's like, okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty relatable thing to talk about, I guess.
Well, let's real quickly, if you don't mind, let's
keep going,
talk
yeah.
about how the New York Times relayed this whole thing. And their headline for this story is, why Arnold Schwarzenegger taped an impassioned video to Russia telling Putin, stop this war. Let's see. An emotional video posted across social media Thursday. Arnold Schwarzenegger debunked Russian disinformation about war on Ukraine and told President Vladimir Putin.
What are you talking about? He didn't debunk. Well, I didn't watch the whole video, maybe.
No, he didn't debunk anything. I mean,
Okay.
I suppose he was debunking one side of but you know how it is. It's
Did
a
he
straw man
present
that
evidence?
I mean, kind of. He had like pictures interspliced into his whole thing. He had that's what I'm saying. It was a very good production. It had multiple camera angles. He had the distant kind of off to the side on wheels, rotating look while he was
had
talking.
A little dolly shot going.
A dolly shot, and then interspliced with images, like pretty graphic images of what's going on. So yeah, it was well done. But no music. I think that was actually smart. In the time when everything's really dramatic, you have Arnold just talking to you.
Well, and the funny part is, he said to those Russian soldiers who are listening to this broadcast, there's no Russian soldiers listening to your broadcast. What are you talking about? Is this being broadcast on pirate television or something?
I thought Russia shut it all down.
Yeah, Russia would. This is not on social media in Russia. This is not. Nobody in Russia or probably even the Ukraine has access to this video. Well, I mean, I guess the Ukraine would, but
listen to this. According to the New York Times, Mr. Schwarzenegger's Twitter account at the time of his video post was among just 22 followed by the Russian president's account. So. And by the way,
maybe that's the problem. Maybe Putin just hasn't been told that it's wrong by his favorite celebrities.
How is Putin not banned from Twitter yet?
That's a great question. Yeah, how is Trump?
Yeah, how is
banned
Trump
from Twitter
canceled before
and
anything?
Putin is not banned from Twitter.
And how come no one's bringing it up? It feels like that would be the first thing to happen.
There should be Putin tweets in every single story. I did not know Putin was even on Twitter.
Maybe their whole justification is we want Putin to see what people are saying. Like we want him to be able to interact.
Sure.
I don't know.
Nobody's tagging Putin in anything. You'd think somebody would be tagging this guy.
True. Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, there's some of the stuff, the propaganda out there of truth tellers.
Do you want to do this next section now, or do we do it after Flippy?
Let me see. We got about 3.5 minutes. That's a tough decision because stuff after Flippy's kind of important too.
All right, let's just do it now. We'll do it real quick.
Here we go.
Let's talk about deepfakes.
Deepfake.
That's right. This is coming from Wired, which is awesome. A headline, a Zelensky deepfake was quickly defeated. The next one might not be. Yeah, so that's a thing now, Gonz. We must defeat individual deepfakes. Not debunk, not pre-bunk, not expose. No, we are defeating. We must slay the deepfakes. On March 2nd, the Ukraine government Center for Strategic Communication warned that its enemies might be preparing a deepfake video that appeared to show President Volodymyr Zelensky, which we have to call him Volodymyr now.
Volodymyr?
He's not Vladimir.
He's not Vlad, he's Vlod.
No, it's Vladimir Putin
Right.
and Volodymyr Zelensky,
okay.
announcing his surrender to Russia's invasion. On Wednesday, that warning appeared prescient. A fake video emerged on Facebook and YouTube in which a strangely motionless version of Zelensky asked Ukrainian troops to lay down their weapons in a voice different from his usual tone.
Probably
Cool
because
deepfake.
it was fake, dude.
Like, oh, dude, it's not even. I mean, you can make really convincing
You
deep
didn't
fakes.
use
It was
good
like
technology.
a fake deep fake.
Yeah, use the Fiverr. You know, you gotta get into the actual software, man.
The clip was also posted to Telegram and Russian social network Vkontakte.
Oh no! Wow.
Contact.
We're so sorry.
Contact. According to the U.S. think tank, the Atlantic Council.
Aha!
Love it. More from them later.
Love the Atlantic Council.
TV channel Ukraine 24 said hackers defaced its website with a still from the video and inserted a summary of fake news into a broadcast's scrolling chyron. Minutes after the TV station posted about the hack, Zelensky himself posted a fake Facebook video denying that he had asked Ukrainians to lay down their arms and calling the fake a childish provocation. And it goes on and on. But there you go. There was a deep fake, which I'm surprised it took this long. I mean, our producers can whip up a deep fake in like 5 minutes. And it took them 3 weeks to release this one.
Yeah,
cool.
Lloyd V can whip it up in like a half a morning. But it takes these guys...
He could make he could put your face on Zelensky's body.
Oh no, please don't. Don't do it. I don't need that kind of attention.
So the info war, the war for your mind, continues. And over here on Reuters, we've got another fun detail. This is Reuters.com. Let's see if my browser loads it. Yep. Fact check doctored video appears to show Putin announcing peace. Oh, so even Putin's getting deep faked. A video shared on Twitter appears to show Russian President Vladimir Putin declaring peace has been reached with Ukraine. However, it is a manipulated video that has been created using clips from an address delivered by Putin on February 21st, and a new audio track has replaced the original. In the video, Putin appears to say, quote, "We've managed to reach peace with Ukraine," and goes on to announce the restoration of independence of Crimea as a republic inside Ukraine. A tweet sharing the video with a caption in Ukrainian reads in translation, quote, "The president of the Russian Federation announced the surrender of Russia. Russian soldier, drop your weapons and go home while you're alive." The same Twitter user says in a following tweet that the video is not authentic. Oh, okay, cool.
What happens?
Debunked.
Thanks, Reuters. What happens when The Office comes out and says or releases their own deep fake? That already happened? Yeah, like the official government will start, because, for example, Biden, if he's, starting to really fall apart, do you think they would bust out deep fakes in the meantime?
I mean, some would argue that he's probably already done that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
We have no idea what is going on. We know that there are deep fakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would not be surprising at all if either Putin or Zelensky made up their own deep fake of themselves, because it's a very effective tactic in the information war.
Yeah.
To be able to create a landscape where people can't trust anything they see. And if nothing else, maybe it's not supposed to have some sort of effect. Maybe it's supposed to be able to be debunked. Both of these deep.
Uh-oh. Basil cut out. You still there, buddy? Oh,
Did I cut out?
Yeah, you
Am I still there?
You had a little speed bump there. You're back.
Oh, but I am there now.
Yeah, you're there now.
I dropped my mute button, and it probably hit the button. Anywho, I mean, it's as likely that both Putin and or Zelensky are creating these deep fakes simply for the purpose, and they're not good deep fakes. They're bad deep fakes.
Yeah, it looks like government level. Government funded.
It's very suspicious.
Yeah.
Ukraine and Russia have some serious capabilities.
Oh, for sure.
And for them to come out with such a bad-looking deep fake,
that's the other,
screams information war.
Right,
making people doubt everything they see. Another like, don't believe your own eyes sort of propaganda piece.
Especially as the media picks it up. You always got to pay attention to why the media would pick up this deep fake as opposed to maybe others that are out there we don't even know about that are much, much better. So you never know.
So there you go. And it stands as a good warning for all of us. I mean, remember, so many of the videos that you're seeing could be fake and, very likely are fake.
Yeah.
We've been talking about deep fakes for, at least 5 or 6 years, back when they were sort of a fledgling thing. And that's been the warning ever since, was we are moving into a phase of media history where you seriously need to question literally every video that you see online, because it is just as likely that it's fake.
Yeah, and, including ours, by the way. You never know.
Including ours. This is a fake podcast.
You might be tuning into an AI version of us saying crazy things that we never said. So
you never know.
You never know.
So if I say anything crazy, it wasn't me, folks.
Just go ahead and use the AI as a scapegoat.
So anyways, there you go. It's very obvious that this was meant to be debunked and continue to confuse the info stream or whatever.
All right.
So, all right. Well, there you go. There's your lead stories for the day. A lot more coming up. But before that, Gonz, I do need to remind you that it is Friday.
It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, there you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing. Yeah, we can keep playing with the Friday thing, Gonz. And a little personal update for me. I don't know if, the discerning listeners out there will notice a couple things. Number one, I am on a new microphone today. It's not a brand new microphone, but I thought I'd try it out.
You have joined the party with the SMB, what is it, 41? What is it called?
Yeah, something like that.
SM7B, yeah, that's what it is. Yes,
right. That's
industry standard.
Industry standard. I've been on this. This is the mic that I use usually for my traveling rig. If I'm out on location, I'll use the Shure mic. I'm usually on a Slate, but I don't know why. I just felt like I wanted to try this one out because it's what you're on, and maybe it's. It feels like there's some warmer tones, a little deeper, some more the ASMR vibe.
Yeah. It's a tighter deep end. It's a dynamic mic, so it doesn't pick up all the room.
Problem is, I still can't get close enough to it to really take advantage of its capabilities because my VR helmet is too big. So that's fun.
You need to invent the microphone that you need to just invent your thing that is going to help you podcast. And so all VR people podcasting will go to your thing, your invention, and there you go. There's your exit strategy.
Sure. Yeah. What a great plan, Gonz. Invent a good thing and make money from it. That's a plan for all you kids out there. If you don't want to work your whole life, just simply invent a good thing and people will give you money for it. Yeah. All right. Anyways, was anything new with you?
No. And for the sake of time, I will sacrifice any personal complaints about life that I usually do here.
Well, okay.
Just kidding.
You're very brave.
Just kidding.
A courageous move, Gonz.
Well, I'm actually very excited because we do have some executive producers today, and I'm excited about that. So can we just do that?
Yeah. Well, I can take up your complaining time. Gabby, never mind. We're moving on. I have a fun project I'm working on.
Executive producers.
That's right. We're going to thank some of our executive producers for today's episode. The producers of the show are those just like you, dear listener, who have taken responsibility for their own media future, and not just theirs, but all of ours. We're on the value for value model, which keeps all corporate money out of our grubby little hands. Instead, we are entirely funded by producers of the show. And producers of the show are listeners who realize that the traditional advertising model, the monetization strategies of the past are not conducive to true independent media. Because if your independent media is taking corporate money, boom, they're not independent anymore. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. So we have producers. And even better, we have executive producers who we are going to thank now. Starting with executive producer Bev W.
Thank you, Bev.
Thank you very much, Bev W. Next up, we have executive producer James D.
James D. Ooh, James D.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
And we have one last executive producer. That is Dame Lynn, Lady of the Lakes.
Dame Lynn. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, Dame Lynn. And we'll be thanking them again in our first break. But this is not that break. But thank you guys so much for being the executive producers of this episode 460 of Canary Cry News Talk. And to the rest of you, there's still time if you'd like to participate in the value for value model. It's really the only possible way that this show can continue in its current form. Advertisements, affiliate codes, male enhancement, vitality supplements, or whatever, is not conducive to a truly free, a spiritually free, and economically free independent media. When media properties take corporate money, they're suddenly beholden to corporations in ways that you might not even think of, specifically things as subtle as maintaining brand friendliness and things of that ilk. But not here. We're wild, baby. We're outlaws. The international courts have judged it to be so.
Oh, no. Don't give them any ideas.
So there you go. Thank you to our executive producers. You can go to CanaryCryRadio.com/support to support the show. And we can thank you in our break coming up in about 45 minutes.
I'm very thankful for the executive producers today. So I'll just play this now and then we'll do it again later.
Where'd you find this?
That's right. You guys are the best. Okay. Well, you know who also, I don't know, is the best at flipping burgers?
We go from executive producers and freeing your mind from corporate media to the robots.
To the robot takeover.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Well, Gonz, it's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and just how there's nothing we can do about it. Today, Gonz, it's a Flippy fiesta.
Ooh.
Because we're heading on over to TechCrunch.com, and the headline is Flippy. Meet Chippy, Chipotle's new tortilla chip cooking robot arm. I love that they are like calling out Flippy.
I know.
I don't think
as if he has a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, very good. And look, I'm very proud of the Canary Cry averse, the Canary Cry-averse, for being early on the Flippy train. We have a complicated love-hate relationship with Flippy, but like I'm starting to kind of, I don't know, get when news articles, news outlets, they talk about Flippy, I'm like, hey, that's our guy, okay? You leave Flippy, go find your own robot to talk about. Flippy's ours. He loves us, okay?
I think Flippy proper has been in headlines and in news more recently. Yeah, definitely.
Right. This is in this phase in history has more official Flippy reporting than there has been since like 2015 or 16 when
these people
first came out.
If they're doing their research, these authors, if they're doing their research on Flippy, like word searches and whatever, they would probably come across our material from like 2017 or something.
You have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Flippy, meet Chippy. Oh, Chippy. Flippy's got another rival, folks. The lineup of rivals keep growing. From the company that gave you Flippy, the hamburger cooking robot arm, comes Chippy, which does the same for tortilla chips. Miso Robotics today announced that it has teamed with fast casual Mexican restaurant chain Chipotle to develop a system designed to deep fry and season chips. Not too much of a stretch, really, after Flippy 2 figured out how to make French fries for White Castle last year.
Oh, I like how they put that. They're building the mythology there, you know? It's very interesting. They're like, oh yeah, Flippy 2 was it'll go down in the history books as Flippy 2.
The whole Flippy family, you know. The new robot AI system is currently being tested at the chain's Cultivate Center food laboratory in Orange County.
Ooh, that's my neck of the woods. I should probably
stop in, get some chips,
look for
get some chippies.
Yeah.
It expects to start testing Southern California restaurants at some point later this year, like the Flippy rollout before it. The Chippy maker will be using the testing period to determine what works and what doesn't for employees and customers alike. In addition to dipping the basket into a vat of hot oil, the system is also designed to season the chips with salt and lime juice.
Ooh.
Chipotle says a little chaos is a key to adding some humanity back into the system, which is hilarious. You don't they just took the humanity out of the system, right, and they're immediately trying to put some humanity back in. It's like, guys, choose your side. Pick your side already, Chipotle. Quote, everyone loves finding a chip with a little more salt or an extra hint of lime, said Niviel Panthaki, vice president of culinary at Chipotle. Quote, to ensure we didn't lose the humanity behind our culinary experience, we trained Flippy extensively. Chippy, sorry. We trained Chippy extensively to ensure the output mirrored our current product, delivering some subtle variations in flavor that our guests expect. Chippy joins Flippy and Miso's soft drink dispenser, Sippy. Oh my gosh. Can Tippy, the serving robot, or Trippy, a weed concierge robot, be far behind? TechCrunch, lay off my turf, man.
You need to contact, who is this? What was the author's name? There's a
TechCrunch.
Brian Heater.
Brian Heater. I know you're listening to this, Brian. Step off, bro.
Let's take a look at Brian.
Me and my gang of Roombas will come looking for you. So that's the part that I wanted to point out in a serious note, which is the purposeful chaos that they are adding. There's another headline over on Restaurant Business online.com, which the headline reads, Chipotle is testing a robot to make perfectly imperfect chips, and is focusing again on the chaos, adding a little chaos. Within the software of the robot is the mistake protocol.
Right.
Which is not the first time we've seen this.
Yeah, it's
this
like
is
a mistake/randomizer.
Yes, it's a major part of the social engineering of the robots. And I say the robots, but I mean specifically in this case, Chippy. And there was, I forget the other one, but that's part of the goal, is to make these robots more human, and you must insert imperfections into the robot's protocols in order for people to enjoy it. I mean, and they're not wrong. I mean, the Chipotle chips, which of course are delicious, you love that one weird crunchy, semi-soggy chip that has way too much salt and way too much lime. Just reminds you that there's a human behind the counter. just trying their best, man. And of course, now we need to get all humans out of the kitchen, but we need to trick our guests into thinking that some human made a mistake and made this delicious little flavor bomb.
It's very Wizard of Oz. It's like behind the curtain. You can't even tell if it's a human or a machine.
Yeah,
or at least that's what they're trying to go for. I mean,
it's at least using the same philosophy.
Yeah,
and so there you go. I mean, and it is miso, so it is an official brother. Chippy is in the Flippy family of products, so I guess we're cool with Chippy. It's like when you have like a good buddy and his little brother tags along. You're like, okay, all right, that's fine, but you're really just there to hang out with your friend.
Do we need to trademark like Clippy or something for our clip producers?
I think Microsoft might have a problem if we trademark Clippy.
Shoot, I forgot about the little annoying paper clip.
The worst of the robots meant to help us out. But again, the macro picture being, even though the robots are being introduced to perfect our systems and our products as a cheap alternative to human labor, we must put flies in the ointment as far as the programming goes in order to make them an acceptable substitute to a regularly inconsistent human. And such is the flavor of the dystopian robot future.
I wonder if as humans we would recognize the larger pattern, like we'll start to recognize like, hey, about
perfectly mathematically
about every 1,000 chips, you'll get that
you get
one
7 crazy chips per bag. This idea of programming the imperfection is a little scary when you start expanding that out to other robots. Think of like killbots, when the
not
robo
a clean
police
cut, make it look more human, make it look like a struggle.
Oh yeah, when our army of armed robot soldiers march into, I don't know, probably just some country whose oil we want, there's a little bit of friendly fire just programmed into the robots. One in every 1,000 shots fired by the robot are programmed to be friendly fire to take out one of their friends.
The other side of the argument is if you have a robot army that takes you out but then does all the stuff for you as like an honorable thing, cremates it, puts it in a box, cleans it up like a nice presentable, like, yes, we have taken over, but here is a nice memorial for you and your people.
Are we going to mourn the fallen bots?
No, the bots. Yeah, the bots will be doing all the work, as part of the takeover.
The bots will clean up afterwards.
Yeah, they'll clean up and they'll present to the losers of the battle there. The memorials.
Fallen soldiers.
Yeah,
that is so dark, Gonzo.
It is, but I mean that's what's happening with these robots. We talk about these robot takeovers enough, and you start conjuring things. Man,
part Roomba. Yeah, they're part Killbot, part Roomba. They'll come clean up afterwards.
They'll come clean up. There you go.
Bury the dead.
Okay,
yeah. All right. Well, there's your Flippy update for the day. I don't know how we went from Chippy, the delightfully imperfect Chipotle bot, to the battle bots presenting their dead back to their families.
Only at a party. Go to CanaryCry.Party, put it in your browser.
Party time.
Find the live stream, email list, text notifications, street team posters, show notes, ways to connect with other Canarians and become a producer of the show.
Welcome to CanaryCry.Party. It's the place you wanna be. So say, welcome to CanaryCry. Gameplay, CanaryCry.Party.
That's That's right. Also, make sure to check out Ravel Podcast on Apple Podcasts and whatever other podcast platform you use. I forgot. I believe we have those episodes also auto uploading to our YouTube channel. We don't pay any attention to that YouTube channel, but for you YouTubers, I believe you can find Ravel Podcast there as well. We are just about to wrap up our Artists On series, and again, last Sunday we dropped the episode where I battle rapped one of the top 10 battle rappers in the universe. It is a must listen. Go check it out, Ravel Podcast. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow Canary Cry Clips on YouTube and Odysee. This is where careable, shareable, bite-sized, delicious little morsels of the show are clipped out and presented one at a time. This is a great way to, go back, listen to certain segments of the show. Also, post them on social media or share them with your friends if you are eager to get them into the information on the show, but are afraid that they will not appreciate some of the stranger elements. They'll get there eventually, but it's bait. Like Canary Cry Clips is like bait,
right,
for getting them into the real show.
Yeah, that's why we got a lot of them. You get a lot to choose from.
Oh yeah, and we're putting out more videos over there all the time. There's tons of clips, and we got a ton more getting ready to post. So go check it out, Canary Cry Clips. Gonz, just real quick to harken back to your sort of imo
dark psychology of robot
goth,
takeover,
your goth robot situation. Mm-hmm. There are the robots that they have that run on burning organic matter. Mm-hmm. So Flippy, the killbots would have like their own crematoriums after war.
Oh, yeah. It'll be like fuel.
Remember that?
That's what I'm saying. They'll present it as honorable.
Yeah,
these are honorable robots.
Robots that if they run out of energy, they put little sticks in themselves and they burn the sticks and turn it into electricity. And just pump that up. And not only do you have killbots who can fry perfectly imperfect tortilla chips, but after they finish conquering a country, they can, fuel themselves. Oh gosh, this is getting darker. All right, we need to move on.
I'm telling you, man. There's no other scenario. I think a lot of authors have run into the same problem. They're like, well, let's just come up with the utopian vision of all this. And then in the end, they look back and they go, oh my gosh, this is a dystopia.
What have I done?
No matter how hard I try. Okay. So are you ready to move on, or are we?
I'm ready. Also, thank you, everybody, for the kind wishes on our 10th anniversary of podcasting. And
that was great.
I'm glad everybody is liking the new logo. It's I'm excited. I love seeing it now. I put it on our Twitter page, did the whole thing. It's cool. So thank you very much for your kind words.
Welcome to Chinese News! Our top news!
Straight from the AtlanticCouncil.org.
Yes.
China will define the next phase of the Russia-Ukraine war and the shifting world order. This is a very long article. I was hoping to kind of comb it beforehand. I didn't get a chance to really do that, but we can read through some of this to see what happens. Quote, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen, said Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, better known as Soviet leader Vladimir Lenin, during his exile prior to the 1917 revolution. Today, though, the quote describes what Europeans and others in the world are experiencing, the abruptness of the change the world is witnessing, which happened quite literally overnight in conjunction with the violence in Ukraine relayed by the media, generates deep uneasiness and fear. How will this affect the rest of the world? Feels like they have accomplished their mission of instilling fear in the whole world.
Yeah, that was the point.
Beyond this question, we Europeans in particular must ask ourselves why the bombing of Mariupol has been so shocking when we watched unperturbed the atrocities Russian President Vladimir Putin committed in the Chechen capital Grozny in 1999 to 2000 and Aleppo, Syria in 2016. We look to history for an answer. There are events that act as catalysts for situations in suspension. They mark a before and an after, crystallizing the evolution. The Russian invasion of Ukraine seems to belong to that terrible category. We are entering times of collective unrest. Globalization, as we understand it, has ended. Interesting. Ooh. And international relations are already disconnected from what has come to be considered established practice. And all signs indicate that multilateralism will undergo a profound transformation. Although it was Putin who triggered this shift, it is China whose protagonism will be defining. That protagonism was on full display when U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan met with Chinese diplomat Yang Jiechi on Monday. Without drawing attention away from Ukraine, it is of utmost importance to consider Chinese President Xi Jinping's strategies, specifically with regard to three areas of interest: the contortion of the Chinese Communist Party leadership in relation to its Westphalian foreign policy, the interplay between China's actions and its vision of an alternative international order, and the alterations to the great economic political designs of Xi with his aspirations of lifelong service like his Russian friend. Ooh. Western intelligence maintains that Beijing had, at the very least, inklings of Putin's machinations of war, a fact which makes China's mixed messaging even more striking and denotes a turning point in its position on non-interference in the internal affairs of other sovereign nations. And it just goes on and on and on about all this stuff here. But I think they are sort of hinting at where this is all headed, which the China conversation with all the sanctions and everything else is way more consequential to especially the United States if things move in that direction, depending on what China does here.
They're sort of. Oh, sorry. I turned off my video. I have a buzz I'm trying to fix here.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear the buzz?
A little bit.
Yeah, I need to fix that. But yeah, in this time period, which we've talked about a couple of times over the past few weeks, where China really has become the pivoting point. I mean, everybody's sort of chosen a side. The international powers have voted. The international court has done their thing. The lines are clearly drawn.
Yeah.
And pretty much like the one country that has yet to be forced into a position is China. And they may be the most important country, depending what side of the conflict they take
sides, because it's interesting. It's like the West is like one big thing. I don't think we're considering Africa and who gets to build Africa. That's probably part of this battle here with the West and East.
Part of it.
Yeah, along with Antarctica, which we've been tracking too. But the shaping of the world economy, the supply chains, all that stuff will look different depending on which side China chooses to remain friendly with, I suppose.
Yeah. And again, I do not envy this position, and they don't like it either. It's really not a good position for them to be in, because before, Russia was sort of their biggest ally, their most powerful friend. Mm-hmm. At least in their common sort of hatred of the West, they have that very much in common. But after seeing the ramifications that have been brought upon Russia and just how debilitating that is for participating in the global economy, that's a very scary notion for China. Because whereas Russia, they got a lot of oil, they can it remains to be seen whether they can effectively isolate themselves or weather the storm of isolation, which they've done in the past. They've survived sanctions. They've at least tried valiantly to become more independent, not rely on a global network of trade, where China cannot do that. without global trade, without access to the global, everything, China doesn't have a whole lot in the way of financial independence, which has worked really well for them. Globalization has arguably benefited China more than any other country in the world. I mean, even the U.S. I mean, we benefit from globalization in as much as we benefit from China, basically. Yeah. And so, China choosing the Russian side is not just dangerous for military reasons or whatever. But if China does that, then we have to sanction China. And that's bye-bye pretty much the American way of life.
Yeah. We are talking everybody has to reset. Right.
Yeah.
Like the West will be forced to reset everything. China will be forced.
I think the West everything. That's the best way to put it. Not just America, but the West in general. If the same sanctions that went on Russia get placed on China, which they would dilly-dally and they would try to find some sneaky way to make it not as bad, but still, as it stands now, if 1/10 of the sanctions that are on Russia were put on China, it would really debilitate China, and in response, it would debilitate just the whole world, but most of the West,
yeah.
So that's why we're really hoping. It's kind of like, please don't pull the trigger. Just please be cool, man, because I don't want to punish you because it's punishing me as well. Just make the right decision, China. Yeah. Which, conversely, or sort of not conversely, but sort of ironically, puts more power in China's hands than maybe has ever been there. Yeah. They can basically hold the whole world hostage just with indecision.
That's
even
kind
with
of,
not taking a side.
That is perhaps their, geopolitically speaking, that is probably their best move, is to literally kind of hold both hostage, do their own kind of not hold them hostage, but just without clarity, right? Kicking the can down the road and just kind of letting it linger for a while until they get an opportunity to do something that's going to help them.
Find a way to profit from it.
And then pounce on that, whether it be from the West or from Russia, depending, who's better at setting up the new monetary foundation, the SDR, whatever. So it'll be interesting.
Because on the other hand, with Russia's sanction from SWIFT and other financial transaction, global financial transaction companies, they're cut off from so many things in so many different ways. But, China has their own versions of SWIFT. Yeah. China has, they an alternative.
CBDC too, don't they?
Yeah, China has the alternative that Russia needs. And, the choice basically, I mean, I'm sure there's some sneaky geopolitical lizard person choices that are not occurring to me. Right. But, the choice is basically, team up with Russia, give Russia access to your market. And somehow you can kind of, be a money changer between the world and Russia, or don't, or stick with the current way things are working. And I don't know which way they'll go, or even which way would be better. It is kind of this weird Kobayashi Maru situation.
This is, I'm sure Klaus is just loving this. This is like a great opportunity.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. The great opportunity.
He's rubbing his paws together,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the meantime,
anyways, the Atlantic Council stepping in to have this conversation.
So we can't forget to mention the source of this knowledge, or this I guess offensive play from the West. Can we say it like that? I mean, they're sort of putting China on the spot here.
You mean with this article, or just in general?
Just in general. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously with the Time magazine also parroting this. It's interesting when you see something like the Atlantic Council publish this, and then see basically the exact same headline on Time.com, how China's response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine could upend the world order under politics and the Biden administration. So, yeah, just get a little example of how the media works there. But in the meantime here, Basil, we got UFOs and we got Obama.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
That's right. You want to do this one?
Look.
Whoop.
Yes.
Connection.
Look.
Huh? There you are.
Look. Yeah, look. Sorry, I'm trying to load this story. I'm on a weird internet today, and it is weird. Saying he's this is coming from Newsweek, and the headline is Obama Library has jackpot UFO records, but they'll take a while to get. Okay. Saying he's absolutely floored by UFO records at the Obama Presidential Library, a researcher says it could still take 16 years to obtain.
Where's the guy who brought down the CDC or what was it, the World Health Organization from 70 years down to like a few months? We need the same guy in here to, speed up the process with the UFO records.
Well, who we do get is this. UFO researcher John Greenwald Jr. said that the Obama Presidential Library notified him that it has potentially tens of thousands of documents concerning past government programs studying extraterrestrial encounters. While the federal government has become less tight-lipped about UFOs in recent years, Greenwald's request shows challenges remain in shaking loose new information. Ooh. Okay, so, it's funny. This Obama Presidential Library is perhaps the most controversial presidential library that's ever been built. They had to, displace like thousands of people, to destroy like a forest to build it. And like there was huge
climate change.
Yeah, huge public backlash.
We're changing the climate.
And it's like this inner city library that nobody wanted. And there's all sorts of like corruption involved, but it's funny because this is kind of like, oh, see, aren't you glad that I made my library so you can write articles about UFOs? Greenwald heads the Black Vault, which uses the Freedom of Information Act to obtain declassified government documents that he posts online. In a blog posted to the Black Vault's website, Greenwald said he filed a FOIA request for records, communications, photos, and videos concerning several government programs on unidentified flying objects, or, quote, aerial phenomena. Greenwald says on March 10th, the library responded saying it has approximately 3,440 pages and 26,271 electronic files responsive to his request. Quote, jackpot, Greenwald said in a tweet Wednesday. Adding, quote, if true, I'm absolutely floored the Obama Presidential Library has that. If true? What do you mean, if true? Do you think they're lying to you? That's a weird thing to say. I guess they could.
Yeah.
However, he said on Twitter that another letter from the library's staff, quote, took the wind right out of my sails of excitement. Okay. The letter said his request was be completed in approximately 16 years. Greenwald said he asked the library to arrange an on-site visit to review unclassified materials to no avail. He's also reached out to members of Congress, calling the records, quote, of immense public interest that play, quote, a crucial role in understanding an issue now being explored heavily by the House and Senate. After being treated with derision for years, high-ranking government officials are now taking UFOs seriously. Florida Senator Marco Rubio said in an interview with Newsweek last year that UFOs could be a matter of national security. Quote, dozens of men and women we have entrusted with the defense of our country are telling us about encounters with unidentified aircraft and with capabilities we do not fully understand, Rubio said. Quote, we cannot allow the stigma of UFOs to keep us from seriously investigating these encounters. And then it goes into the Pentagon Papers last year.
Yep.
Yeah, let me see here. The 2022 National Defense Authorization Act, approved by Congress last year, contains a provision requested by Rubio, as well as Senator Kristen Gillibrand and Representative Ruben Gallego, that created an office dedicated to studying unidentified aerial phenomena. Yeah, okay. 16 years, Gonz. That's all we got to wait.
Yay, and then by then Obama will be shedding most of his human skin, and so it'll kind of be out in the open anyway, and then we'll be like, all right, well, we knew all along, but okay.
I wonder how it works when there's a new presidential library. How do they decide what files go where? What library gets what info?
I have no idea how that works.
You think Obama requested it?
Probably.
Maybe that's his whole thing. Maybe we don't even know this, but Obama's a huge UFO head, and it always has been.
Well, you know who else might be?
A shill for sure.
I have a little treat for you, Basil, because as I was putting together the whole Obama
piece. Is this a
piece
10-year anniversary present?
Sure, yeah, a little late,
Thanks.
but yeah, okay, yeah, that works, I suppose.
Yeah.
As I was looking for a little audio clip of Obama doing the little talk about the UFOs to make that quick jingle, I ran into a video from about a year ago that had 600,000 views on it, and it's none other than your homeboy, Chris Shilzilla.
Oh my gosh, he got his 600,000 CNN bots to watch his video.
And he makes some bold claims in it. I have a clip of an audio clip to run it by you.
You know, I majored in watching the X-Files reruns in college. So, yeah, I guess you could say I'm something of an expert on UFOs.
No, there's my boy.
What do you think? You think we should consult with good old Shilzilla? He says he's an expert on UFOs based on his
he majored
research.
in X-Files.
X-Files reruns.
That doesn't surprise me because, as we've talked about before, Chris Shilzilla's writing style is primarily conspiratorial.
Yeah,
like
it is
he
interesting,
primarily conspiracy theorizes about Republicans and Trump.
Yeah, he makes it up for Trump. Yeah.
So I believe it.
There you go. I just wanted to give that to
you. No big news. He didn't tell a story about how
No. It's just he had done a video about the Obama thing about it was a few months ago where Obama came out and said like, oh yeah, I asked the question, where are the labs and all that kind of stuff. We covered it at the time. We don't need to revisit it now. But
I think Obama. I think there's so much hubbub about this library, and there was no other options. He couldn't find another place. He needed it in this place at this time because maybe he's found some sort of interdimensional fault line that is deep beneath the ground. Yes, and he built a library on top, but down in the
portal into the abyss. It has connected.
The sub-basement. There's a laboratory where his alien friends are working on.
He's unlocked the key to the abyss. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Obama.
That makes sense. I know. I should bring it up with Chris.
Yeah,
maybe Saliza has some info on that.
Yeah, we should throw the whole idea of because a lot of people think that, and I'm not one of those people, but there are many people who believe Obama is the Antichrist. That he's lightning. Barack means lightning. Jesus says he saw Satan fall like lightning. There are all kinds of connections that people have made, which are fun to look at. But
and he rides bicycles with slacks. He rides bicycles and slacks. And if the Antichrist is born and out there now, he definitely rides his bicycle in slacks.
Yeah.
There's just something wrong with that. There's something cosmically sort of diabolical about riding your bike in slacks.
Sure.
All right.
Well, there you go. That's okay. Obama. We'll keep it, I guess, an eye and ear. I don't know. Something on Obama.
Yeah.
See, brings up the UFO conversation during the Ukraine thing. Or I guess it's not him bringing it up, but still, it's interesting.
A lot
news
of
cycle.
UFO talk surrounding the Ukraine thing. Yeah. Maybe that was Obama and his new UFO just cruised on over to Ukraine and saved some farm folk.
Right. Maybe he's the one with the technology all along, so he's got to make it look like he's on the hunt because eventually he's got to tell everybody that he has the technology,
Yeah. Okay. We're getting into some end of show topics here. We'll have to save that for the for the third block.
Right.
But for now, let's go thank some producers.
Let's do that. Does that mean we're taking a break?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Buttons. Here we go.
It's
Nice.
break time. Come on, take a break.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. After the break, we've got all sorts of stories. We'll be catching up on COVID and more. But before that, we want to thank some of our producers. As I said before, our producers are people who see the world for what it is. They've put on the They Live sunglasses, and every advertisement is secretly a brainwashing communication device to build some sort of compliance and reliance on the corporate web of nasty little spiders who not only want to catch you in their web and keep you sedated so they can drain you of your life force via advertising and mind control and things like that, but they also want to, crawl into your mind and use it to lay their eggs. And then there's more spiders that are born from there, and that makes you a walking, talking advertising machine. Indeed, so many of us have been raised to believe that, if a program has advertisements, then it's worth more, that the value of entertainment and news is derived from the large corporations being involved in advertising on it. And you know what? A lot of podcasts, a lot of independent media, they advertise, and you got to do what you got to do. But for us, the idea that we would participate in a global theology where human beings like you, dear listener, are not human beings with, souls and lives and fears and love and things like that, but you are simply a economic unit of measurement where they can, through big data, privacy concerns, big tech, all those things, build some sort of model of you and use that model to experiment on how they can subtly manipulate your psychology to get you to spend money on things, spend money that you don't have on things that you don't want for no reason. And yet we love it. We love it so much. But not here. We are raising the rebel fist against this sort of miasma of spiritual oppression that worms its way into our minds and controls our decisions. Literally, that's not part of the metaphor. It literally controls our decisions. But instead, we are under the understanding, folks, that you, as a listener, as a human being, have a right to decide the value of your own media. And we're grateful for that, because when people realize that they have some personal responsibility for what kind of media survives into the future, what kind of media will be here tomorrow, do we want it to be supported and propped up by the monolithic monstrosity that is advertising and corporate interests, or do we really want decentralized independent media for the people, by the people, with no big sort of sinister master plans involved? Well, that's the kind of the way that we go. When you do advertising, you are incentivized by corporations to consider your listeners as some sort of commodity where we try to harvest as many listeners as we can so that we can get more money when we sell it to an advertising company. But that's not how we do it here, folks. It's the value for value model. We create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you get any value out of what we do, then you have the opportunity to put some value back in. And people who do that are producers, just like the real world. That's the real deal, baby. Put it on your LinkedIn, put it on your resume, put it on your CV, whatever, because this is not your dad's independent media. I don't even know what that means, but it's not.
This isn't your father's independent media or your father's independent media.
That's right, baby. So, and that's why we want to thank some of our producers now. There's a couple ways you can produce the show. You can head to patreon.com/CCNT, or even better, CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
That's right. All sorts of fun ways to support the show over there. If you're a cool cryptocurrency person, you can support the show with your crypto. You'll see our public wallets down at the bottom of the page. You can also become a monthly producer of the show. If you want a nice set it and forget it, you want to commit to keeping the wheel of value going. We're very grateful for our monthly producers because it just builds some consistency and some reliability in our ability to continue doing the show on a month-to-month basis. But if commitment's not your thing, you can make a one-time producership in any amount. And a new fun thing over there at CanaryCry.Radio.com/support, Gonz, is I put a form on there for those producers who want to get involved and help Canary Cry News Talk expand, grow, sustain, apply their skills and their interests to helping us out with, their time and their talent. You can go check that out. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and you'll see a nice little form. You can fill that out and we'd love to talk to you about getting involved with the show. But for now, Gonz, who do we have to thank?
Well, we're going to start with some executive producers.
Executive producers.
Here we go.
And as we mentioned at the top, we got 3.
Yeah, wonderful day. And I think some of this is in response to our 10-year anniversary, which we are very grateful for. Thank you so much. So let's start out. As we mentioned, we have our executive producers, starting with Bev W.
Thank you, Bev.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, these are big round numbers.
Yeah.
Very generous, wonderful round numbers that we are so grateful for. And we would love to read these numbers, but just for anybody who hasn't produced before, just so you know, we always lean toward anonymity. So we usually don't read the numbers of the producership unless there's some sort of numerical code in there, some sort of funky number that makes us know, oh yes, they gave us this number, so we could read it out loud. Putting 77 cents or 33 cents or whatever you want. But Bev did come in for $1,000 at $1,007.77.
Wow.
So she got a pocket full of sevens in there. Thank you very much, Bev. That actually makes you an Insta Dame.
Wow.
So get at us, Bev. Insta Dame. You are invited to take a seat at the Canary Crow Roundtable of Knights and Dames. And for those who don't know, the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames is a very special elite squadron of producers of the show who have helped the show out with $1,000 or more over time or all at once. And they are given an honorable position as a knight or a dame. So Bev, send us an email, or we'll send you an email. Somebody email somebody, and we got to get a dame name for you that you would like to take.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I guess there's another email we got to send, right? Because James D is also an executive producer.
That's true. James came in. Let me get the exact number for James.
This is insanity.
It's great. It's wonderful. I mean, our 10-year anniversary show was great, and the support was fantastic. But, you got to remember that there's 99% of the people who listen to the show don't listen live.
Right.
And so they heard it, the day after. So that's where there's some of this response came. I'm having the darndest time tracking down this producership. Why is that?
That's a good question.
No, I would love to just make it so easy and fast and smooth. There it is. Yeah. Okay. There he is. Producer James D. Thank you so much. The nice round number there. So I'm not going to read the number, and y'all can just figure it out. What are you doing?
I did the thing, but it stopped. But I can do it again.
No.
For James D. Thank you.
Are you playing executive producer jingles for these folks?
Oh, yeah. We got to do it for each one, huh?
Where'd you find this?
That's for you, Bev. And this
There
one's
we
for
go.
you, James.
Where'd you find this?
James, send us an email, and thank you so much. And we do have one last here, executive producer, coming from Dame Lynn, Lady of the Lakes.
Thank you, Dame Lynn.
Thank you very much, Dame Lynn. Got a note here, listening to podcast 100 plus fees to honor your 10th anniversary. I need the balance and humor you two bring to my life. Love you and God bless. Dame Lynn, Lady of the Lakes. Thank you so much, Dame Lynn, Lady of the Lakes. Yes, and $100 plus fees turns out to be $103.30. So it's kind of yeah, exactly. Thank you very much to all of our executive producers. We could not continue the show without all of our producers, and the executives are the ones who are taking a big load of responsibility to keep us going. So we appreciate that.
Dame Lynn, this is for you.
Where'd you find this?
All right.
All right. That concludes our executive producers for today's show, but we got some more people to thank.
Do you want to mention the supply drop?
Yeah, might as well.
Supply drop.
That's right. We're getting ready to send out the Canary Cry supply drop, the very first one. And the Canary Cry supply drop is our thank you campaign for producers who sign up to support the show in the amount of $33.33 a month or more. And you can go to CanaryCry.Supply.com, where exclusive, never before seen, once in a lifetime manufactured Canary Cry goods will be sent to your door 4 times a year, and perhaps some digital assets available on a monthly basis. So if you want to jump in and get not just the Canary Cry supply drop delivery, but also get access to the Canary Cry digital assets, go sign up for the supply drop, CanaryCry.Supply.com.
Waiting for supply drop.
Just a side note on that, I'm working on the tutorial for our supply droppers to be able to receive their NFTs and hold it for themselves. Hold the digital asset in their own hands.
You know,
So,
that is
working on
also a huge value add to what you're doing, Gonz, because not only do the supply droppers get Canary Cry NFTs, but they will basically get a lesson, a NFT lesson from Gonz.
Yeah, just a little tutorial to get you guys set up with the wallet.
If you've never known, if you don't know how to do it, or even what it even entails, interacting with NFTs, Gonz is putting together a nice little tutorial for you, so you will learn how to do that. So that's cool.
Yep, and more info on that, especially supply droppers out there. Look for that information. But there you go. Cool. More producers to thank here, and we're going to start with a Little Winged One.
And Little Winged One is a big day for Little Winged One. Little Winged One, as she let us know, was so close to her damehood or knighthood. She sends in a note here: blessings, Canary fam, from Little Winged One. Keep the faith and continue to look up. But this does bring Little Winged One to the threshold to become a member of the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. And so we will be knighting you during this show, at the end of this break, actually.
Nice. Okay, so we actually do have a knighting.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you, Little Winged One. Congratulations.
Indeed. Yes.
Next up, we have Ciara.
Ciara F. Thank you very much. Ciara comes in with $10.33 and a note. Love you guys. Love you guys. I missed out on making something for the 10-year anniversary. This is the wrong note. Sorry. Oh, no.
You read the wrong Ciara note?
No, I posted the wrong note. Here's the right note. Late anniversary payment. Congratulations on 10 years. Cannot name a better duo. Smiley face. I have been blessed by both of your ministries. A small reminder to send an email to RSVP for tomorrow's meetup in Washington.
Right.
3/19, yes.
3/19,
So,
that's tomorrow.
big old meetup in Washington tomorrow. Send an email to ciaraloren93@gmail.com. You can find her email at CanaryCry.meetups.com. And big shout out to all Washington, Oregon, Montanan, whoever, Canarians who are going to the meetup. If you're not planning on going, listen to me now. Plan on going. Go. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, Ciara.
Thank you, Ciara. Next, we've got Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch.
That's right. And Sir JC is on a streak.
No, wrong streak. There we go.
There we go. Get that banjo. 80 episodes in a row for Sir JC. We actually missed Sir JC last episode, but I checked it. So we're keeping his streak going. We just forgot to thank him, I think. He came in with 1001.
1001. Amen.
And 3333. Right, and he got a note here. Forgot to congratulate you guys on 10 years. Canary Cry has been such a monumental influence on my walk with Christ and my contribution to the church. I'm so appreciative of you both and what you have done to Rattle Cages. Rattle Cages jingle?
Well, we got this.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
That's right.
It's been a while since we played it during the show. We always played it at the end of the show.
Thank you very much, Sir JC, Knight of the Techno Squatch.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we've got LX Protocol V2.
That's right. LX Protocol V2 is on a streak. 8 episodes in a row. Thank you, LX Protocol V2. Coming in with pocket full of 7s plus fees and a note. Is there any way to still get a calendar? I would love one. Unfortunately, at this exact moment, there is not a way to get a calendar. So we may open it back up somehow, someday. But yes, the window for receiving calendars is closed. There
Scarcity has kicked in.
There are no more to send. I apologize. That's why we do it the way we do, is because we have to print the exact number of people who want them. So we did the calendars from November through January. But, you know, if there's enough people who want one, we can think about doing another run. But there's always next year.
Yep. There you go. Thank you very much, LX Protocol V2. Next up, we have Melanie M.
Melanie M. coming in for 1111 plus fees.
1111.
And
No note.
That's it. I didn't see a note.
Thank you, Melanie. Next, Jonathan F.
Jonathan F. Comes in for $11.20 and a note. Love you guys. I missed out on making something for the 10-year anniversary. Sad face. God bless and may the show last forever.
Forever.
Thank you.
Forever.
Thank you, Jonathan F.
Forever. Thank you, Jonathan F. Next up, we have Sir Salmon's Knight of the Fishes.
Sir Salmon's Knight of the Fishes comes in for $11.11 and note.
1111.
Happy Friday, my dudes. Just got my Canary Cry calendar and couldn't be more excited. Although I did find out Mother's Day is on my birthday. Not feeling like sharing, but we'll see how I feel when the time comes. Many blessings from the fishes. Thank you, Sir Salmons.
Thank you, Sir Salmons. Yeah, mom comes first.
Yeah.
You just have to lay it down this year, and then maybe next year it's staggered again, and you'll have your day back. Thank you, Sir Salmons. Next up, we have Morv.
Morv is on a streak. That's right. 65 episodes in a row, 11/11. And a note, happy Friday, brothers. I know it's said a lot, but I'm truly grateful for y'all and for this body of believers. Praise God for how he brings his children together in community with one another. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Grace and peace. Grace and peace, Morv.
Thank you
very
Morv.
much.
Appreciate that. Next up, we have, we must kneel before Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
Yes. Sir Casey, the Shield Knight, is on a 131 episode streak.
Thank you so much.
Coming in with sevens and fees. Thank you, Sir Casey.
Thank you, Sir Casey. Next up, I guess we should stay kneeled. Sir Scott, Knight of Truth.
Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, is on a 121 episode streak.
Thank you so much.
Coming in for a pocket full of sevens. And that concludes our list of producers who have supported the show in the amount of $7.77, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. But we have plenty who have come in under that amount, which we will thank right now, starting with Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Tribe of Judah, with a 66 episode streak. We've got Jackie Yu on a 38 episode streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
We got Runk Smash, 10 episode streak. We got Streak Sister Gail M, 97 episodes in a row.
Women rule!
Well,
sorry,
and other Streak Sister, Veronica D, for 97 episodes as well.
Women rule!
And last but not least, we got the good Doctor Who Dundat, 67 episodes in a row. And there you go. That's all of our producers for today's show. Thank you very much. And I think now it's time to Night, Little Winged One.
Ooh, very good. Okay. Well,
now,
yeah.
Just so it doesn't take anybody by surprise, Little Winged One likes the idea of being knighted instead of damed, so we will be facilitating that. But I did want to give an explanation of the dame thing. I think a lot of people are getting dames mixed up with damsels, because dames, that's not that is still it's
royalty.
It's a hardcore thing. I think people think of dames as like princesses or like someone to be rescued, which is not the case. Dames are the hardcore version of that, different from a damsel. But of course, if you want to be a lady knight, you can be a lady knight too. Whatever you want.
Okay. Well, grabbing the katana off of the bird logo here.
Okay, good. Give me that axe, you crazy canary. Okay, here we go. We want to call up Little Winged One. Please step forward to the Canary Cry roundtable of knights and dames, where we have a seat for you. Thanks to your generous support in the amount of $1,000 or more, we are proud to pronounce you Lady Knight Little Wing. Please join us at the Canary Cry roundtable, where we have the belt of truthful truthiness, breastplate of righteousness, custom fit Birkenstocks to carry forth the gospel of peace, the shield of ferocious faith, the helmet of substantiating salvation, the supernatural sword of the spirit, and of course, adorable samurai babies, infinitely cute kitties for cuddling. And if you're hungry, we have fancy feet, sweat food, carved Cosmo the crisp cow, and of course, fried wormicorns. Welcome to the Canary Cry Knights and Dames Roundtable, Lady Knight Little Wing. And the crowd goes wild. Where's the crowd? Crowd, come on, crowd. There they are. Thank you very much, Lady Knight Little Wing. And everybody out there in the chat and around the world, make sure to give a little thankful prayer for Lady Night Little Wing for being such a faithful and generous producer of the show.
Oh, hey, put it away. Put it away.
Drop it.
No. Okay. Congratulations, Lady Night. I like that, Lady Night. That is kind of cool, though.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey,
like
she's at the round table. They get extra, sort of control over what happens around here. Okay. Now we did receive a package.
Right. Yes. Okay. Let me do that real quick. Oh, we should have done it during the thing. But...
Yes, but we're doing it now.
Okay.
This was a package from producer Gail M, who has the Gail's Gratitude Grab Bag, where she is keeping an eye out, taking submissions and nominations for very special members of the community to receive all sorts of fun and funky Canary-themed things that Gail has procured. And once a week, she's doing this. And we got chosen for this week, Gonz, because of our anniversary.
Cool.
So we're very grateful. And Gonz has opened the package.
Yes. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm glad I opened it prior to the show, too, because Gail knows how to wrap some packages. Let me tell
master.
It was
Some
almost
might say
impossible.
she's a battle rapper.
Not even a knife. Was enough to open this thing. But so far I got these. I think these are. Is it a little salt and pepper thing with the little?
I don't know.
Like
I can't see it for some reason. I am unable to see. You might need to give me your video.
You know what's going to happen if
Skype.
I do that? Is my whatever happens on OBS, I will shrink. Something happens on OBS where the video card can't handle that.
Well, I don't want you to shrink, Gonz. So you'll have to just describe it for me in detail.
Oh, gosh. Okay, yeah. So it's a couple of ceramic, I would say. I think it's ceramic. Yeah, maybe glass. I think it's ceramic, though. It looks like salt and pepper little shakers for...
Cool.
Made out of bird shape.
And they're, I'm assuming they're canaries, Gonz,
canaries,
would be my guess. Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing them now. Ooh, those are cool.
Yeah. We got a I Love Canaries coffee mug.
Ooh.
It's very nice.
Fun.
Yep. We have a book, an old book by Hugh Lofting titled Dr. Doolittle and the Green Canary.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Green Canary.
The Green Canary, yeah. I'll have to check it out.
Is it an old book? What's the published date on that sucker?
It's Puffin Books. There's a little penguin logo. There's your Nephilim penguin.
Oh, that's cute.
Published in 1951.
Ooh, that's an antique, baby.
I got to keep this away from the children.
Yeah.
And we got a box full of... Fancy Feast Petites, seared salmon entree with spinach.
Ooh, delectable.
It's actually, I mean, I can go through all of them. I don't have to, but it's a different flavors for each one here.
Yeah, sure. You don't need to go through the flavors. Okay, so we know where those are getting shipped off to. I'll put on a very fancy white tablecloth for the Monties.
This is a gem. It looks like a children's book titled Cat and Canary.
Okay.
By Michael Foreman. Yeah, there's the thing. Here you go. Cat and Canary.
That is fun.
Very much in our milieu. It's like we time traveled and grabbed stuff after.
Love it.
I think there's another box of stuff. I think that's most of it. Oh, here's another book.
Most of it.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Mary Canary and the Worried Feeling by Rachel Vinciguerra.
Mary Canary and the Worried Feeling. That sounds like it will teach me a lot about sort of emotional health and emotional intelligence. How to know what I'm feeling.
Yeah, the greens,
which we all need.
The key is not helping.
I love that it's a green cover. Yeah, so it's blending in with your green screen.
And then lastly, Sing Canary Sing. Gates. Ingerlit Pearden. Looks like another children's book with canaries.
Got a lot of reading material, Gonz. You can start brainwashing those children.
And a lot of A lot of wrapping and boxes and stuff. But
Do you think
thank
your children are going to love canaries or hate them when they grow up?
I don't know.
Like, I don't get it. My dad was obsessed with canaries all the time. I can't stand him.
No, what they'll say is, I think my dad was a commie. He's got a poster with himself as some kind of weird commie leader.
That's true. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
What a treat and what a treasure. And keep an ear out, folks, because we are announcing the receivers of Gail's Gratitude Grab Bag every week. And thank you for the wonderful gifts.
Thank you very much. And
okie dokie.
Thank you for all your patronage.
Indeed.
Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Wait. Halt. Halt it. Stop the jingle. There was one more thing in the package you forgot to show us.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. Remember?
No, I don't remember.
It's the hat, Gonz.
Oh,
Come
the
on.
hat. Oh, that's
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Okay, hold on.
Just gotta spoon feed this guy everything.
Hey, you know, there are times when there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there are times when we start sentences and we don't know where they're gonna go.
Yeah. So I got this canary hat here.
Have you covered the screen? Oh yeah, okay.
I'm back.
There you go. I
on
see
full display. It's got the color scheme and everything.
That is fun.
Very good.
Is that a gradient, a blue to yellow gradient?
Yeah.
Love it.
It's well done. It's right on
Where
theme.
did Gail get this thing?
I don't know. It's as if she is conjuring them out of thin air.
She's got some sort of like canary detector that she brings to the thrift store.
Canary
or something.
dar.
Yeah. Wow. Well, there you go. I love it.
So I'll wear this the rest of the show today, and maybe in the future. It's actually very comfortable. It fits my head very perfectly. That's also very strange,
good.
Gail. How did you know the precise size of my skull?
Oh, I have a running tab, a public list of your exact dimensions at all times.
Oh, fun. Okay, can we?
Okay. Let's do voice messages.
Okay.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message. Go to CanaryCryNewsTalk.com. Somewhere on the side of the page, you'll see a little green tab. Click on that and you can leave us a voice message. Gonz, who is leaving us messages today?
Oh, we got another one from Sam Elliott.
Oh, the battle continues.
Here. Macho, I got some words for you. Got some scriptures. Job 16:3 says, "Shall windy words have an end, or what provokes you to answer?" Proverbs 10:19, "When words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent." Now let's go back to transgression. One's pride will bring him low, but he who is lowly in spirit will have honor. Now, James 1:23, "One who hears the word of God but does not act accordingly is like one who looks at his face in the mirror and forgets what he looks like." You remember that snake, Macho? That Jake the Snake Roberts put around your neck? It bit you, didn't it? You didn't stomp on the head of that snake, now did you? You forgot that. Now, if you're a real man of God, you would have stepped on his head. I'm not a snake, but you're a fake, aren't you?
Some professional wrestling deep cuts there.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam Elliott, for continuing the feud here.
Wow. Love it. Okay. Yeah. I it's fun because it sort of has devolved outside of really anything having to do with the original discussion between these two, and has turned into scriptural, just sort of character assassination.
Scripture rap.
Scripture battle.
Battle.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, Sam Elliott. I mean, I hope everything's okay over there.
Yeah. Getting worried about him. We also got one from Psalm 40.
Okay.
Hey, fellas. I just wanted to say congratulations with my own 2 lips. 10 years is a huge feat. Can either of you guys name any band that has kept all the original members for 10 years? Because I'm not sure I can think of one. Big deal. Congratulations. Amazing. Awesome. The first time I ever heard Basil's voice, it was on the CCR interview with Will from The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. And I remember I thought Basil was just the rudest person ever. Like, he took nothing seriously. Gosh. There was nothing anyone could ever say to him that he would put any value into. And just his hubris was colossal. Kind of like a safe for work version of Howard Stern. But this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and Basil, you've absolutely grown since then. I love you both as brothers in Christ and as informative truth seekers. Absolutely, you guys are amazing. And Gonz, I appreciate you sticking to your space skepticism. A topic like that in communities like ours gets looked down on, and I appreciate you sticking to your guns. And speaking of which, when will Ravel unravel some biblical cosmology scandals? I think that would be a good topic for you guys. God bless and Godspeed.
Biblical wow, loaded message. A lot of things there. I will say, thank you. I think thank you for those words, the kind ones at least. I will correct you on something now. I have not grown or humbled since that episode, though. So, but thank you very much. Not safe for work, Howard Stern. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that on my bio. That should help with the search engine optimization. Thank you very much, Psalm 40. What was the other question here?
I was looking up the number of years, like the longest band that have been together. And I don't know if this is accurate, though, because, it's always like, I don't know if they take into account original members. But Megadeth, 24 years, Black Sabbath, 27. I mean, can't
with
be
original members, though.
Yeah, but these definitely have not been together for that long. So I don't know. That's a good question.
We have no answer for you. What would be an example of a biblical cosmology? What was it? Scandal?
I don't know about. Well, maybe he had something specific in mind, but I wish he would have mentioned something
specific, because I would love to take requests. In fact, we constantly take requests over there. Send us an email about exactly what you're thinking. I feel attacked by him requesting this, but at risk of seeming like a safe for work Howard Stern, I will humbly request for an example. I would love to get into whatever he wants to get into. That's what we do, baby.
Flat earther had a child with a globe earther. Sounds like a scandal.
Yeah, we're probably not going to talk about flat Earth, but okay. Not because it's not worth talking about, but because that's not what the show's about. All right. And also, I don't have anything to add to flat Earth that somebody else hasn't said or can say better. All right. Any more messages? Thank you, Psalm 40. Okay. Wonderful. Well, I suppose we should say bye to the YouTubers and wake on up.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's happening? Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Twitch, Rumble, Odysee, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, you can find all those links at CanaryCry.Party as well. That's right. Too hot for YouTube. Get on out of here. Go find
YouTube. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Okay. Go find another